Good evening, good evening, good evening. It's Ruth Marquis. Welcome to Ruth in the Bag. Yeah. Welcome to our money show where we get your money and your mind right. All right. So let's get started. I'm going to be before you a short time, so let's get into it. Today's topic is why am I emotionally spending? Why am I emotionally spending? Okay. So I'm going to get to the financial report part at the end. Okay. So if you stick around, you get to see the report part at the end. I don't think it's fair for you to just hop on and let me trash myself and then you hop off. No, that's for those who stay. Okay. So if you stay, I'll get to that. So one thing I do want to say though is with if you want to hear say hi, if you're watching this on the replay, hashtag replay. Hi guys. Good afternoon. So and Ruth in Relationships is the show that we do on Thursday, right? We on episode 190. Okay. And it was like a year journey and I got what I wanted at the end of the year. So that encouraged me today, where it's like, oh, I didn't get this part right and I didn't get that part right. And I just want to encourage everybody that's on their financial journey that it's okay that you don't have everything right. Sometimes in Ruth in Relationships, I was up. I said it when I was up, but when I was down, I shut my mouth. I was real quiet. When I took a couple L's, I was quiet and I learned from it and I grew from it and I created shows from it. And I'm like, wow, I could see me transform like a butterfly, right? And understand the thing so much. So as I was like going through the old shows and things like that, I was like, oh man, I'm gonna tackle this thing just like I did that, and it's like imagine me a year from now. So I would ask you to join me on the journey for our financial freedom. I want my financial freedom, and I want it now. Okay, but we have to fix the things that are broken in us. I would have never seen my dream guy if he walked past me on the street. I would not know what to look for. I would not know what to screen for. I would not know what was good or what was bad. That was my problem. And I fixed that problem. Hey, Tim, how are you? So then when I saw it and I was like, oh, all the parts is not here, but this is going to be a nice car, right? Right? All the pieces, we could grow into some of the pieces. But I said, oh, I like it got good bones, right? That's why you're walking to the properties investors, but like it got good bones. So the same thing is with your financial situation. If you think it's going to be, and I mean, broke. My heart was broke, like a lot of times. Like, oh my God. One time somebody was like just looking at me online, and from then they judged me by all the shows, and it was like, nah, I'll pass. And I was like, so mad. I was like, and I was gonna overlook this and that and this and that. And I was like, oh. So you can get your feelings hurt on many levels. Okay. I don't know why people think you don't go through downs on your journey. You go through ups and downs. Tim says, as long as you have money, you can get your dream person and your dream car. I know that's right. So yeah, it all intertwines. And I was just talking about the journey that I was on. And I was like, people think that like your health journey, like every day you went to the gym. I'm like, every day was not like that. Like I wish I could be in the gym again today. And that's how once you stop something, that's when you know, wow, I was really doing good. I cannot wait to go back. I'm trying to work out from home now, but I cannot wait to go back. I'm about to do Pilates, by the way. Anyway, but all of these journeys, it just encouraged me like, listen, you're going to fall on your face. You're going to mess up sometimes. But if you don't get to the root of the problem, how are you ever going to stop the bad behaviors? That's really the bad behaviors. It was really the bad behaviors that had to clean up. It was really knowing when I'm saying something that was offensive, or it would be the smallest thing. Like if I would say I don't need a man or something small that I wouldn't even know it's the wrong thing. But if you don't do your research, if you don't try, if you don't put yourself out there, if you don't have the conversation, if you don't get to know people, I knew what I liked, what I didn't like. By the end, I was like, I will filter in like 1 minute. That's how good you got to be at this. So the same thing with your financial journey. You got to really be good. And at the store, you're like, nah, I don't need that. I'm good. coming in with your list, doing what you got to do. And you were looking at the people that have savings, and you like, how are y'all so good at this? How are y'all so good at budgets? How are y'all so good at this? If you don't get the discipline, my word for this year is discipline. Not that I'm a really disciplined person, by the way, but it can always tighten up, right? And so my word is discipline. And to be disciplined so many days of the year, I was like, when I saw how many shows I did last year, it was like, I was like, you can watch my show for 6 months. Okay, an hour to an hour and a half show. You can watch one every day for 6 months. That's how much content I produce. So imagine if it was 365, right? Imagine. So you always have room to grow. So anyway, back to the financial journey. Let's get to it. What is the definition of why am I of emotional spending? Okay, the definition is when you buy something that you may not need to ease your emotions. Okay. Well, Ruth, you and your chips and dip. Yesterday, I had to quit chips and dip. I said, it's my last time. I don't eat chips. I don't eat dip. But something about that hell of a French onion, man, your girl was eating a whole bag. And I was like, how did I get so far from grace? Right? And that was emotional. I was driven to that bag. A lot of us are buying things that we don't need. I have some stuff around the house that I have not even used yet. I haven't opened it out of the package yet. But in the moment, I had convinced myself how much I needed it. So when we can stop lying to ourselves, we can start saving for homes. We can start buying land. We can start making our dreams come true. We could be more financially stable. Once we start uh, basically eliminating bad behaviors and adding good behaviors. Okay, so we have a net positive. All right, so now let me tell you the story. Now, disclaimer: this was a disaster, and we usually eat healthy food. If you give my son a piece of candy and a piece of fruit, he's gonna go for the fruit. He likes fruit. So we make emotional decisions, whether they're big or small, right? That's why they say don't go grocery shopping on an empty stomach. So let me give you proof, okay? So listen to the story and listen to the principles in the story. You ready? Let's go. So me and my son Emmanuel, who is 3 years old, okay, and y'all know how 3-year-olds can be. They can be very no, yeah, right. Until you get me, and then they're like, okay, I'm sorry. So basically I ate like this chicken salad. It was like, oh, I'm doing good. I'm eating chicken salad. See, and then I went and bought that nonsense. See how you sabotage yourself? All right. Um, so I ate and I was full, and most of the time, like I'm like, okay, it's breakfast, okay, it's lunch, but the way our schedules are moving, he wakes up at a different time. So I kind of missed the fact that he had his breakfast, a big breakfast, but he didn't have his like lunch, right? And he woke up late. So um here's a couple issues, right? He must have his food in order, right? So if he woke up at lunchtime, I can't just give him lunch. He's like, no, right? So he's demanding, right? Remember that. He's demanding. All right. And then the second problem was he's a picky eater. He's a picky eater and he has a wacky sleep schedule. Okay. So there's background issues going on. Stay with me, right? Watch this. So we're in the grocery store, and then I forgot to give him something. So I was like, you know what, we're gonna get something. We're gonna get something here while we're here. This is the best. This is the place where food is, right? Unfortunately, they didn't have the hot food that I was hoping they would have. So I was like, okay, we'll find something. So I offered him. So I was unprepared, and then I had that mom guilt, like, oh my god, oh moms, y'all know. Anybody have a mom guilt? Like if you don't do something for your kid, you feel like you're gonna die. Like Lord, I didn't feed the baby. I starved the baby. Mind you, I just fed him. I'm starving the baby. Why? Right? I don't know why I didn't give him his fruit. Oh, I think I did. Usually they let you eat fruit in the store. Okay, so I'm gonna slip this in. He did ask me, "Hey, John, how are you?" Money show. So he did ask me for some fruit salad, but we're going to put a pin in it because I said no. Watch this. I'm already feeling guilt. I'm already feeling unprepared. I was like, all right, I need a sure thing right now. Like, I need a sure thing. I already said no to the $7 fruit cup. So I'm like, I mean, I'm trying to save money. What is it? Well, I'm not gonna spend no $7 on the fruit cup and he's gonna be turn around and be right hungry. Okay. So what had happened was I was like, all right, I'm gonna get him this donut. It's a dollar, right? I know it's bad, but I know he's gonna eat the icing off. It might he only eat the icing off. I was like, so that's gonna get you started. And he took a bite and he was like, I don't want that. Actually, when we went all the way to the donuts, he was like, I offered him pepperoni first, and he was like, no. At first he said no, then he said yes, and I'm like, oh, you want something salty? But I was like, let me get donut because I don't like, just in case you don't like the pepperoni. Yeah, come on now, I'm about to open this thing. Don't talk about opening stuff in the store. I pay for it. Okay. So I needed a sure thing. So now I'm making bad decisions on top of bad options. Remember that. Making bad decisions on top of bad options. It was yes, it was no. I was like, I don't know, sir. Because you're so uncertain, I need to do something that's certain. And I'm gonna pick these donuts. He didn't eat the donut. He wanted the pepperoni. He took one bite and he's like, pepperoni, thank you for the likes. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, by the way. Um, what happened next? So I'm like, we thinking, oh, it's all good. We got pepperoni. Yay, we won that one, right? We won. Go over there. Here, give me this. Mine. Oh, why are you watching this? Give it to me. Look at his face. His face so serious. All right, so Emmanuel, when you talk over there, I'm not. Mommy. Two mommies. Two mommies. Poppy, shh, or go over there. All right. So I gave him the pepperoni. So I'm thinking we're good. Oh, he get moody and he wants some Cheez-Its. He sees cheese. I'm like, bro, we are not walking through the store buying everything. Mind you, the fruit cup was just $7. I should have gave it to him. It was a healthier option. I should have fed him before we left the house. So we making bad decisions with bad options, okay? So how many of y'all ever spent money like this, right? So now these sit on three things for the one little boy. All right. So, like I said before, he asked for fruit in the beginning, and I thought it was too expensive. But now, wait, altogether, like Jesus is like $5. I didn't even count six, and then the pepperoni. Child, I spent like maybe $11 on that stuff. 10 minimum, $10, and I could have got the fruit cup. But in reality, I was thinking like he could use this for snack tomorrow, which he just ate. But that's not the point. We reject what is good for us, right? And then the junk I bought, right? The junk I bought, none of it was healthy, was greater than, it cost more money than the fruit salad than the boy asked for. So I should have did the hard thing up front to avoid all of that. And that is what I call emotional spending, right? Emotional spending. How many times do we have background issues, check, going on with our demanding personality? Check, check. We find ourselves unprepared and experience guilt because of it. And so we start making bad choices. Ooh, ooh. On top of having bad options. Why do I feel like this is a relationship? This can apply to relationships too. We're making bad choices on top of having bad options. We tend to reject what is good for us. And we should have and we should have done the hard thing up front to avoid all of this. If we don't get it together, this is how it's going to go down every paycheck. Every time you get paid, it's going to go down just like this. The budget says, here's what's important before the emotions get involved. I'm going to say it again. The budget says, this is what's important before these emotions get involved. Because I was fearful. I'm like, my baby is hungry. I use fear. I use all of these things and made these emotional purchases. Here, give me. Then be quiet. Where's that belt? Where's that belt? Stop. You stop. He's pointing at me. You stop. Oh no, you're not gonna hit me with a pillow. Stop. 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 Oh, pop. Give me a second. One second. My son's showing off. Let me get that belt. 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 Take this. Take your little toy. Get out here. We're going to play the fake belt game. Okay, I see that. Thank y'all for bearing with me. Thank you for bearing with me. Hey, hey, get out of here. He threw the tablet at me. I'm done. He threw the tablet. I'm done. He threw it. He threw the tablet. He threw the tablet. I'm going to defend myself. Okay. Oh, man. I'll just throw it down. I ain't hit him. All right. So the hard thing that we should have done was make a budget, right? That aligns with our goals. A lot of times we make a budget, but we don't make a budget that aligns with our goals. We don't make a budget. It's like this is how I get from here to there. We don't make that budget. There we go. All right. So, what is our goal? Financial stability. Financial stability. Our emotions are sabotaging the basics of personal finances, which is create that budget, right? We can't get to the basics because our emotions get involved. We can't get the basics covered, right? Hey, you go to work, you doing what you need to do. Well, I was reading up on some history stuff, and a lot of the reason why, and I heard about this story before. A lot of times you see Chinese, you see who's the other people? Okay, different cultures come in to America. They don't mind sleeping on the floor of their business. They don't mind sleeping on the floor, period. They don't mind putting five people to a room. They don't mind these things, and then they keep running their business and they work 16 to 18-hour days. It's not that they're trying to take advantage of people, right? As we think. It's just that they don't mind putting in the hard, excruciating work. And then they prepare their children. Their children come and help them, and their children are prepared to take over the business. Well, even if that's at a counter. No, no, our kid, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing this and that. Mm-mm. They have a system, and they make their system. They have their plan. If we don't do the hard thing, we're not and do the hard thing for a long time. We're not going to get where we want to get. You may be winning on social media. You might have the best car. You might go to all the restaurants, right? You might go. You might have beautiful food. Oh, you're winning. But you're not winning when it comes 10 years from now, where the other people did not have the instant gratification that you had, and they did the long-term work that was needed, and now they're actually really living that life. A lot of people front online, and I'm not mad at them. Like, you can't, nobody gonna buy from you if you like dusty, or if you're, don't have it together or whatever. I am an exception to the rule. I'm not dusty. But I don't have everything together, right? But I've never act like, oh, I'm rich. I've never done that online. Not one day. Matter of fact, I tell people too much. Okay, too much. They thought I was way high. I was like, no, baby, I'm just working hard just like you. But that doesn't mean, okay, you can see where I'm going with this, right? That doesn't mean I'm not going to have what I want one day. It just means I'm in process. And that is okay to be in process. All right, so let's get some emotional understanding. There is a psychological side of money. The psychological side of money. Number one, the first part is when you fail to plan. Okay, I've never really understood this, so I'm really glad. And by the way, a lot of things I say is based on research. It's not off of my opinion. That's a good thing, and that is why the information. I'm sorry to mention this other show so much, but the information in Ruth the Relationship has. You see the information, and you'll see my opinion. But over time, you see my opinion change to match the information because I'm like, oh, that was right, and the opinion I had was wrong, and I changed my stance as I grew because I focused on the research. So that I do the same thing when it comes to the financial part. I focus on the research. What is the research saying? Like what are the issues that we have? And if we can focus on that part and all of what I thought I knew, let that go and focus on what the research is telling me. Try that out, test that out, see if it works for me, and then boom, tell you guys because it really did open my eyes to make different decisions. And then the show was getting juicy and good and had all these stories. So I have to tell you about all of these little financial stories, like how I spent the emergency fund, right? Where it's like when I was down to like the end, I was just like, that's not an emergency. And I was holding my ground and holding it because the part about it is this. It's not that we don't make money, right? But it's just, do you keep it? Now, um, it was like I'm programmed to give my money away. Me, you, y'all, us. We are programmed to give our money away. It was like a problem. I remember when they gave the stimulus checks and they was like, oh, people are saving the money. That's not good for the economy. Wait a minute. So you want to listen to people that's telling you what's good for the economy versus what's good for you. It would have been good for you to save money. It would have been good for you to feel financial relief, to know that if I have an issue, I have money in the bank. So you wanna listen to people that have their own interests in mind. They have a bigger picture. Yay, that's great. But that ain't picture that ain't got nothing to do with me and mine. You understand? Ain't got nothing to do with me and mine. So you rather say, Ruth, I need you to spend all your money so that the economy can do well and let me drown? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And by the way, shout out to all of y'all who found out that you can save money when that time came. A lot of y'all saved y'all stimulus checks. A lot of people didn't touch their check every single week. They did not touch that money. And it built up and they did some things. Some people bought homes, some people did this, some people did that, some people traveled. I ain't gonna hold you. I was traveling my butt. Oh yes, I was. Um and it was once in a lifetime. And that's why I spent the money because I was like, hey yo, when's the next time I'm gonna be able to travel when I want with my kids? When I want all year long. That ain't gonna happen no more. We don't know. We don't know. So I took that opportunity and ran with it. Pew. All right, so if we fail to plan, when you fail to plan, you make it difficult to control spending. You have to think ahead of time what is going to happen and why I need to buy a dress for this event. I'm going to the event. I need to buy a dress for the event. If I wait to the last week, okay, this is big. If I wait to the last week, but I knew that where I was buying it, I was like, they always come through. I just have a feeling. But in reality, I didn't even look at it until the next day because I bought two dresses, one for me and one for my daughter. I didn't look at it till the next day. I was like, oh, this dress is X, Y, Z. I thought, oh no, it's actually a little more than that because it didn't matter what the price was. I'm gonna say that again. It didn't matter what the price was. I needed the dress. A lot of times we're paying more money because we have no more time to look because we didn't look earlier. I mean, it makes for people that value their time, that ain't a bad deal, but it is what it is. And I guess that's how you pay a lot more in Christmas gifts if you buy them ahead of time. So I'm not mad at that. So if you have to take that trip, take the trip off season. Plan ahead of time. know how much the tickets are in this season and that season. So therefore you can get the best price, but still enjoy yourself. A lot of times we deny ourselves. We have a lower quality of life because we don't plan enough. We don't. And we can have the trip of our dreams if we just thought ahead of it. Just thinking. You didn't spend no money. But you're like, oh no, let me just do it last minute, and just spend $500 more on a ticket per ticket. That's an extra $1,000 you didn't have to if you just planned it ahead of time. That's my point. All right. If things become more expensive, because you are making a choice without seeing all of your options. Okay. But my goal is to be prepared for everything, like the apocalypse. Prepare. Yo, when I was a kid, wait, hold on. When I was a kid, I used to dream of having those bunkers. You know what I mean? I was like, Jesus coming back, and I'll make it. I'm gonna be in a bunker. I don't know what to tell you. I'm gonna be so rich. I'm gonna have a bunker. I'm gonna have to start building my underground. You know what I mean? I need food that don't expire. I need what do I do when the power go out? That's like if for all of y'all that say y'all good, y'all don't need a relationship, just be prepared to do all that stuff because honey, that's what you're gonna have to do. All right. If your car is on its last legs, then you know you need to do three things. Number one, fix your credit. Call us. Text 267-259-4669. Right? If you need to boost your credit up, right? Number two, you need to save for the down payment. If you give them a couple thousand, if you give them like $4,000, right? Hey Mark, can you can you hear me on Instagram? Instagram, can you hear me? Just had my alarm. So if you know you need to buy a car, if you know your car is about to go, you know that thing's about to go, right? Save for the down payment, fix your credit with us, and make sure you can prove your income. If you've been having under the table stuff, you can hear. Thank you. So how are you today? If you can, if you have all those things, like I was saying, if you put $4,000, that seems to be the number. $4,000. Oh, you said no. Oh, okay. Okay. Hold on. All right, I'm back. All right. So yeah. So I was saying, if you give them like $4,000, they tend to give you a better deal. So do that. Do that. That's cool. Um, Now the second part is spending money doesn't make you happy. That is the theme on social media. That spending money makes you happy. Like if you went somewhere and you spent the money and you have a tower of food, then you are happy. That is not true. That is not true. How many times have you gone somewhere and you know it wasn't in your budget and you're sitting there and your stomach is like boiling? You like, please don't let this bill be too much. That never happened to nobody. No, speak the truth and stuff. That never happened where you're like, ooh, you be like, you better stop ordering. I know the ladies are. Well, when you go out with your girlfriend, you pay attention to what you order. You do not order the same thing that you was on that date with, girl. I tell the truth. When you on that date, you want to order 3 rounds of everything. Cut it out. All right. Don't lie to me. Being true to yourself makes you happy. Being true to yourself, not sitting up fronting for people. Fronting for people is going to be like, it's going to make you miserable. A lot of people build their business on that. That they're in this cool place and they doing all this. I mean, look at rappers. They go and they rent homes out and rent cars out and they act like they're living this lifestyle more than they are. Before they get it, that's the game. And then they're miserable because they got to keep all those appearances up. And so when some people's like career's not hot no more, they're like, "Oh, you fell off. You fell off because you got a regular car like us. But if you would have trained yourself, like, I know, I'm trying to impress you. Who are you? Who are you? If you got it, you got it. If you don't, you don't. But sometimes when you got it, you don't want to tell nobody. That's real. All right. So the jig is up. Stop lying on the internet because somebody gonna put you out there one day. They really are. There was this girl. They said she was like, I'm over here in Dubai, but she lives in Kuwait. Like she just took a little fight and somebody they got into a beef and she was like, oh, she was like, it's not a flex. You live over there. Yeah, it was just like she put all her business out there. I was like, ooh, that's not good. Say no to going out to eat, vacations if you can't afford it. If it's not somebody like sometimes it's your child's birth. It's some exceptions to that rule on my end. Like on my end, birthdays, I'm an experienced kind of girl, right? I just gotta do birthdays. But other than that, I don't care if Santa himself is at my door. If I ain't got it, Christmas time's gonna be miserable. Miserable. And I don't care. I don't care. I don't care at all. I am lost. Yeah. All right. So stop spending so much on Christmas when you're a college student. I had to tell somebody that. If you start spending your first year and they know you got a job, but if you give them like these expensive gifts, they're going to expect that every time. They're going to be like, oh, I need my heavy hitting gift. I know such and such is going to give me a good gift. Setting yourself up for no reason, honey. Your value is not in your wallet, it is you. When are you going to learn that? I remember when they said, man don't make the money. What is it? Money don't make the man make the money. What happened to those values? What happened to those sayings? Now it's if you have money, that's the only way we respect you. If you have money, that's the only way. I mean, it's good. I could see how you're like, you know what? I got things now. I work really hard. I discipline myself, and I finally hit my goals. But to be like, well, if I don't got it, then I'm a piece of trash, and I might as well kill myself. Are you kidding me? God did not make you junk. You have gifts and dreams and all of that stuff. So you can go get what you need to get from life. So please don't equate your value to your bank account. That's all. Switch your value system over if you're not born into money, but you want to die having money to give away. I'm gonna say it again. Switch your value system over if you were not born into money. If you were not born into money, but you want to die giving money away. And that could be to your family. But you got to switch your system up. So you got to have that financial self control. And also, you want to listen to these kind of things. Like this video, let it play in the background when maybe you want to do your budget. Maybe you like, oh, I don't feel like checking my bank statements and like let this play because it's like a motivational video for your money. All right. No. So I had this thing that I did. I had my yearly goals, but let me be really, really transparent. My yearly goals, I mean, I make a big list and then I be like, I barely hit them goals. I hit some goals. I barely hit what I really want to hit. And why is it? Because I never look at the list. So now I'm looking at the list and I'm like, okay, I have all of these things. What's the first thing I'm going to do? I'm going to prioritize. I'm going to have my top 10. No. And then I'm going to chunk it down. My point of saying that is if you don't chunk down things, you will not be able to get it done. Emmanuel, be quiet. Or give me the tablet. My thing. And be quiet. I'm almost done, guys. I wanna let you guys go and if you're watching this on a replay, watch #replay. By giving you some practical tips that you need. To control the emotional spending. Okay, so we're not gonna just talk about the problem. We're gonna bring you all solutions. All right, hold on one second, because he's really come on. Mom. Come get it. Come get it. Don't come back with it. Okay, estimate what you need to retire. Estimate what you need to retire. And I believe, and that's what made me think of the yearly goals. It's like, if I see the big picture, what I need to retire, I have to talk to realtors that are at the end and they need to retire and they can't. Now, when you start having those conversations, you're like, all right, now you got to get serious about your retirement, honey, because they still got to work. I mean, one lady was like in her 80s, working, overweight, and barely could walk, and she was still trying to be a realtor. They told her not to come to the office. And I felt super bad because they say realtors don't retire, they just die. That's horrible. That's horrible. I'm sorry. That is horrible. Realtors don't retire, they just die. It's like, when the last time you see a retirement party for a realtor? That's horrible. Meaning they don't save enough for their retirement, okay? And we need to change that, okay? I'm sorry, that's funny though. So estimate what you need to retire. Use a grocery list. Okay. I know this sounds so simple, but you don't do it. You don't do it. You don't do it. And stick to the list. And then if you like give yourself like, okay, I'll give myself three things I'll buy, whatever. Just so you have flexibility. People like me, like, I don't like rules. Like what? What rule? Why? Why we have rules? I'm questioning. You know about the four different personalities. Pay with cash. Once you start paying with cash, you start paying a lot less. You're like, I don't want to pay for that. Track weekly saving deposits. I like that. Tracking your weekly saving deposits. So I have a whiteboard. Stop. Oh, you want to do this again? I'm gonna take it again. I'm gonna take it again. Well, they just gonna have to hear us fighting. Be quiet. So all you have to do is be quiet. You can sit right there. Say one more thing, boy. All right. So I have a sorry about that. I have a board. I'm thinking about my edits, and you're gonna make it look hard. Because my edits gotta be right. Um, Track your weekly savings deposits. Like I track my weight on my board. And after I had them chips and dip that I was talking about, I was like, oh my gosh, all my progress went out the door temporarily, but still, it shows you why you shouldn't do what you do in bed, right? So track your weekly savings deposits. I like that. I didn't think about that before, but yeah, we're gonna do that. Um, Budgets for shopping trips, like because I have multiple children, like I definitely have a number. We're not going past this. And then there's been times where I was like, whatever it is, we'll just buy it. And I was like, ooh, I don't want to do that no more. I was like, yeah, just add it up real quick. Unless we was in one of those cheap stores. And now we was in the cheap store, I was like, it's all right, right? Anticipate the regret after a purchase. So for all of y'all that would like to manifest stuff, okay, when you want to manifest, if you want to manifest anything, manifest the regret that you're going to have when you buy that item that you know you don't need right now. That's going to help you. You're going to manifest the regret. And if you don't regret it, you're like, you know what, I don't regret buying this, then you should buy it. Keep cash around. Keep cash around. That's very important. And make it hard, make your money hard to access. I ain't gonna hold you. I was trying to get somebody job. It was in my investments, and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't even know how to get to the money. I was like, give me my money, it's mine. I was like, I need to put way more money in that. If I put way more money in it, and I'll be like, oh, give me my money, and I don't know how to get it out. I mean, obviously there's ways to get it out, but it's like I can't get it tomorrow. So I think I would be better off with that. And so making your money hard to access is going to help you with your over emotional spending. So when your emotion, because the thing about it is our emotions go up and they go down and they go up and they go down and things like that. But I'm starting to think. Do you think men have this issue as well? Because men are supposed to be less emotional, but I wonder if men are emotional about money. Now, here are things that I want to know. Men, are y'all emotional about money, or are y'all just steady, like whatever? And it's like I can see men being like this steady thing where it's like, stop talking, you doing it on purpose. I'm not playing with you. You talk, he don't talk at all. And then when I'm on the camera, he wants to start talking every word I'm talking. Yeah, you're doing it. All right, so guys, we have to choose between financial stress and financial security. That is the consequence of lack of self control. You either get financial stress or you get financial security. Okay, so we have to get over our emotional spending. And the way we get over our emotional spending, to be conclude, is we have to have a plan and stick to the plan. Even with your schedule every day, if you're a boss or you have time, even your after work time, if you don't have a schedule of what you're going to do, what I have seen work is what's it micro time blocking, where I block out 15 minutes for a task and I get started in 15 minutes. I've gotten more done with this strategy than any other strategy, where I start a task and I work on it for 15 minutes and I'm able to extend it for another 15 minutes. The problem is I keep extending it, but I'm doing things I was supposed to do a long time ago. Does it make sense? So, um, I think that when we make things in little small chunks, right? Let's just say your emergency fund. Put your first $100. Put your first $250 in your emergency fund. Stop making it like it's got to be 1,000. Just make it like, okay, I'm gonna put my first 50. That's one thing you could do. I gotta put $50 in by Friday, and then go from there. Make it 200 and make it 500. And like you can get there fast, but just start. Okay, just start. Use your emotions in a different way to do the things that you know you should do versus doing bad things, because all of those dollars that you overspending could have been in your savings account. My friend, I'm gonna say it again. All of those dollars that you're overspending with could have been in your savings account. With that, I'm gonna let y'all go. I'll see y'all next week for Wednesday. Let me know what you guys think. Are you an emotional spender? Have you ever been there? Have you changed? Do you have tips for us? What can you tell us about emotional spending? And we're waiting for you in the comments. Thank you so much for watching Ruth in the Bag. Yeah, 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 yeah. I will see you next Wednesday. Bye.